All right. Another best of 3 from these two great Canadian players. And in the top left of Echo Isles, we do have iNSUPERABLE. And in the top right, we'll see if he changes anything up today or if he's maybe a little bit over aggressive again. It's going to be KiWiKaKi.
A player's forces are under attack.
And so far, pretty standard, I would say, Ricky, from the last games. This is what Kiwi did. He went for this creep, and then he left the first Headhunter and the Wolves to get that level 2, and then he went to the 12 o'clock. So are we going to see Kiwi perhaps make I want to say, a similar mistake that he made in the other series the other day? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, Ted Fiends from iNSUP as well. Very early Nerubian as well. So iNSUP just playing super defensive. Gonna bide his time. And honestly, if you play this perfectly, you're gonna really take your time. However, that could result in Kiwi, like you said, taking the marketplace this time. Whereas before they kind of skirmished over it, iNSUP got the better end and then he pushed forward. So a little bit of an adjustment there. And I really wonder, did iNSUP open Ted Fiends last time?
No,
I think he went full bot, right?
Yeah, he went fast fiends last time, which it worked out perfectly. It worked out so well. That's why I'm very surprised. I was actually just focusing purely on Kiwi because I just assumed iNSUP would go for the same build because it was so strong last time. But now Kiwi's doing the same thing. iNSUP's doing something different. And I gotta say, I think this is better for Kiwi overall, assuming he can get to that 12 o'clock position and take that big consumable from the marketplace.
Yeah, the big key factors for iNSUP have been being aggressive, getting in his face, killing those headhunters early. But right now, we're starting to get a pretty good mass 4 already. And the veto from Northern Isles was basically, I don't like when you harass me. And it's very funny to see that he's opening up in a way that he just takes harassment this entire map. I mean, Ted Fiend's much slower build, like we talked about. So, interesting. Kind of a weird decision from iNSUP, but we'll see how he does. So far, a lot of damage on this Farseer going to push him away. And we could actually see that meet in the middle of the map regardless, because Farseer doesn't have any heals, Carson. He's got to go back home before he comes back across.
Yeah, 4 headhunters is quite a bit to start this camp. Of course, that Acolyte waking up the creeps, casting Bloodlust, making it a little bit more difficult for Kiwi. But yeah, that damage put on the Farseer early, and there's plenty more coils, at least 2 for now, to throw on that Farseer in the future and to go for last hits on this marketplace. So it might be tricky for Kiwi to go for this camp, I feel like. And iNSUP, although he doesn't have these fiend numbers that he had in the last series, he's still able to put it on, and the Farseer has to go back home. There's probably even going to have to be a block soon to get this DK out of his face.
Yeah, the shop is like just being built too. So this is going to be a Farseer running for his life for the rest of the time. Maybe iNSUP goes back and starts to creep, but what do you creep now? Is it worth to take the green? That'll be level 2, but I feel like iNSUP wants to keep this aggression going. Hasn't used the Skelly Rod yet, and a few Headhunter pickoffs could mean level 2 anyway. Gonna take that corpse. There we go. So he's keeping a presence here, and honestly, Kiwi, I don't know if he has enough yet. iNSUP has 2 Fiends. Is this enough to contest? You have to use coils to steal hits. Honestly, the Ogre Magi would be so good, Carson. That's the last hit you want.
Yeah, and that's probably what he's going to hope to use that only coil he has on. But for now, he's probably just going to try to put more damage on the Farseer. But we see the positioning from Kiwi with that Farseer. Very safe, right? The Headhunters are always in front. The Wolves are always in front. Not allowing the Fiends and the Skeletons to poke damage onto that Farseer and get him within coil range. Chain Lightning going to secure that second Ogre. But now the Dark Ranger comes in. 2 Fiends and a Dark Ranger. 3 Fiends now as 1 more reinforces. Is that enough to win this fight? I don't know if it quite is for iNSUP yet, but he's still putting the aggressiveness? Aggression. There we go. On.
Yeah, I love the patience from Kiwi. He can kite this all day. As long as the Dark Ranger's not getting in range, then this could be good for Kiwi. Look at all the pickoffs he's getting. Some Skellies. This is almost level 3 just off pure harassment and a couple small ogres. So far, so good. And honestly, if the Farseer gets level 3, that's absolute cake because we're going to see the Headhunters going back home for this TC very, very soon. And honestly, do you give this up or do you just bring the TC in and move the Farseer away and start to creep this with the TC? Because this is some juicy experience for the Tauren Chieftain.
It's decent, but a lot of it's already been soaked up on the Farseer, right? And the Farseer is pretty close to level 3. Note, there's a change up from Kiwi, of course. He's going for a Bestiary, whereas I believe it was Shamans last time. I think all the way through. I could be wrong in misremembering that, but I believe, yeah, this is the first time we've seen a Bestiary from him. So the Raiders will come in. The Kodos are going to come in. That's going to make it a lot more difficult for iNSUP to put the pressure on his Orc opponent, so we'll see how it mounts up. But still, they're always fighting over this 12 o'clock, and so far this has gone a lot better for Kiwi than it did in last game that they played on Echo Isles.
Yeah, so far all the camps have gone for Kiwi. The TC is trying to get in position. He doesn't have Aura, so that must mean he has Stomp. Okay, Stomp actually steals it, but the DK gets the experience.
Oh, greater mana on that Tauren Chieftain. A Speed Scroll could almost be used. Remember, there's no Purge here, no Ensnare quite yet, but a Speed Scroll Stomp could catch those Fiends out of position, and INSUP knows this. So INSUP, I'd be surprised to see him keep pressing forward, but it seems as though he's not going back. There's only one way. But Kiwi, backing off himself, would love to start creeping up that Tauren Chieftain unharassed, uncontested, and so far he's being given a little bit of space now.
Yeah, I think this is really good for INSUP. Now he can start pulling other things. The Farseer being super annoying. He actually does scout where INSUP is, but this is going to allow the TC to creep almost everything. Great Potion of Greater Mana, like you did mention, is a great item to have so far for the TC, and I wonder how much aggressiveness Kiwi's going to get. I mean, do you go creep 3? You got some Raiders right now. You could pick off maybe some of these units while INSUP's still not level 3 on his DK, which is a very scary situation to be in. I mean, this is a fresh level 2. Yeah. Coils aren't going to be there, and this is still a lot of damage from these headhunters.
Yeah, I feel there's really not a big chance INSUP would trade effectively currently if they got into a fight before he has that level 2 coil. He's got 5 Fiends and a statue, of course, but the Farseer is about to be level 3. There's a Raider here to guarantee Fiend kills, and there's plenty of Stomps. I don't think this is a good fight for INSUP. We'll see how it goes, though. The first Ensnare, first coil, immediate Town Portal, but I think he's still losing this Fiend. Yeah, it's 1 Fiend going down, level 3 on the Farseer, and the second contestable camp on the map is going to go towards KiWiKaKi.
Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, INSUP just can't fight right now, and now you kind of like nailed it on the head. You're losing a valuable camp as well. You have to creep at this point. I don't think you can even just come across the map. Now you have no TP. There's Ensnare, and the tier 3 tech just finishing. That's going to be the Lich coming out. That's going to be the Orb. Finally, some fighting power for INSUP, but you'd love to see that DK level 3. But when you're creeping with the Dark Ranger as well, because you have no choice, it's just your creeping is just going to be so cut in half.
This won't even be level 3 for the Death Knight if he gets this whole camp. There's going to be a lot of skeletons, but the Tauren Chieftain, exactly, level 3, heal scroll, invuln, big mana pot still. Kiwi's only getting stronger as well. INSUP, of course, will with that Orb and that Lich now coming out as well as Destroyer form to deal with those wolves, but Kiwi's got a power spike himself, and he's already quite a bit ahead, I would say. He's going to have Berserkers, he's going to have that Kodo with the upgraded Battle Drums, maybe even the Orb if he wants. We saw Kiwi getting that Orb in their last series. I believe it was to deal with the Destroyers because, of course, he didn't have Raiders then, but maybe not this time because he, of course, does have those Raiders.
This is honestly so... Like, Kiwi is so far ahead, he could probably just creep to 4 on his TC. He has no reason to push forward, and that's what we're probably going to see, maybe the Merc camp or something big. There's tons of units here for Kiwi. 50 supply, that's exactly where he wants to be. This Farseer is so annoying as well. Forcing some coils when he needs to, but the statues are there. But just wasting some of that juice as well. One of the statues probably going to have to morph into a Destroyer right away as he queues up another. He's going to have to queue up another one. That's your breaking to 50 food very early in this game. No time to actually bank at all. And the items for INSUP aren't very good.
Yeah, dude, and the DK's not even level 3 yet. Like, he's got to take this entire expansion just to get DK level 3. Almost the entire side of the map taken just to try to get that crucial level up in Kiwi. Already past level 4, could even maybe go to the corner to get close to level 5 Tauren Chieftain. And by the time they get in a big fight, maybe trade off all the Headhunters for all the Fiends, something like that. This TC is going to be level 5, and those Stomps are going to be massive. And there's not much you can do about it as the Undead. There's going to be a Dark Ranger, of course, for silence, but what else can you really do but eat those huge level 3 Stomps? And now there's going to be Death Knight level 3, but not before almost every camp on the entire map is gone. A little crazy.
Yeah, just the turtles and maybe a trapper from the marketplace remaining, but not too much. Enough to solo creep this Lich to 2, though, and maybe the Dark Ranger to 3. So if he keeps this DK out, this could be some good value added, you know, when there's not that much to gain. But he's going to creep with his DK. Again, I really don't think this is the right idea. Like, INSUP, move your DK back, please. So much valuable XP. Like, is the Lich going to get level 2 from this anyway?
Tiny Great Hall, though, from Kiwi, so he's using the time that INSUP is giving him with his creeping to expand, and this expansion is going to be up unscouted thus far, and Kiwi is expanding the same time he hits a decent power spike. He could use a second heal scroll, probably, which he does have the gold for. Would love to see him buy a second heal scroll. But he's not getting one currently. 2 Raiders can be easily Coil Nova down, but if they get their ensnares off, there could be a lot of damage follow-up. Are these 3-0 Headhunters? Not quite yet, but probably soon will we see that 3rd attack upgrade. The upgrades for iNSUP, of course, will be 0-0 because he's going for more mass as he breaks to 58 supply. And this could be a really strong timing, actually, from iNSUP. Is Kiwi ready to deal with this? I don't know.
Yeah, level 2 arrow on the Dark Ranger as well. He's going for mass skeletons. He's going for nukes, trying to get down these headhunters. And honestly, you know, Kiwi's had the whole map to do whatever he wants. And I feel like iNSUP's still in a very good position. Breaking early, good bank. Tome of Agility on the ground for that Dark Ranger. Love to see it. This is a lot of damage, possibly. He just needs to kite properly. The Raiders need to get on top of these units as well. TC stomps need to be on point.
This is a beauty position, though, from Kiwi. He's got everything spread out in a perfect arc. The StarCraft is coming in right now from Kiwi. And he popped the Mercenaries. The first Stomp is all right. At least it denies those Fiend hits. The first Coil is good to save a Fiend. But now the Chain Lightning, because the Coil was on cooldown. And that's the Orb gone. That's the Nova gone. And that's probably iNSUP out of this fight at least. He doesn't have a Town Portal note, Ricky. And there's going to be 2 Raiders to continuously pick off units as iNSUP tries to get away from this fight.
Oh no, this is a disaster. The Stomp is on everything. Look how much damage. GG. That's it. Yeah, really. You know, I debate whether that's a good time to fight in front of that shop like that, but I think with the expansion, Kiwi could have just sat there all day.
Not the greatest start into the series for iNSUP. Switching things up didn't really work. Ted Fiends, again, he had nothing to contest the middle, really, was reliant on micro, and for once it didn't really pay off. The Stomp was there, big mana potion, and afterwards he was put in a position where he couldn't really do anything anymore and got out crapped. And yeah, same situation in the bottom, basically. That Farseer alone created all the space in the world.
Just like Northern Isles, the last series they played, a ton of space created, the Torn Chieftain creeps for free, and you're not just getting levels from the creeping, of course, you're getting a lot of gold. That gold allowed Kiwi to get an early tiny Great Hall, and have that timing where iNSUP really had to either counter-expand, which gets countered by Wolves, and of course can be cancelled very easily by Headhunters, or he's got to all-in, and the all-in we see just doesn't work when there's a shop like Ricky mentioned in the back, and a big, strong Tier 3 army with mercenary support. Just really well played from Kiwi.
Yeah, it looked a little scary when all the skeletons were there, but the skeletons expired when he was shopping and couldn't use it in a push. And we had this difference in fighting position, Carsten. I think you pointed it out beautifully. Everything was perfect for Kiwi. Everything was spread out. The TC was in a wonderful position. Farseer was safe. Shop was ready. Like, he's just this more for his come at me sign. And everything was clumped up by iNSUP again. We've seen this before. Like, it's either he dodges all the stomps like a god and every fiend is spread and like you hit one fiend max, or everything is clumped up. TC runs in the middle of everything, boom, epicenter, nothing works anymore, nothing moves anymore. And that was the case here, and iNSUP needs to turn things around. Otherwise it's Kiwi in the top 4, second orc in the Americas. We give him some time, we'll take a little break, and then we're right back with maybe the decider. Map number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Kiwi pushing for the semi-final. One more map and he's there once again. INSUP. What can he do now? What does he have to do? Next map is Concealed Hill. What should be the play?
Ooh, did he have an invul on that Lich, sorry? Last game?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Concealed Hill though. Okay, yeah, that's a bummer. That's a big bummer for INSUP. Well, I think the first things first is to not get tilted the fact that he had an invul on that Lich. But on Concealed Hill, I don't think it's as good as Northern Isles. You can take the red camps very early, the red drakes. We've even seen Kiwi take the middle red camp with 5 headhunters before in the past. So I don't know if you agree, Ricky, but I think this is a great map for Orc.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I think the key to victory, Neo, was probably INSUP trying to be more aggressive early on. I didn't really like the Ted Fiend opener. Felt it was very passive, and it gave Kiwi all the time to creep. Like Carson was saying, more money, bigger items, heavier leveled heroes. And I feel like INSUP in his face is where Kiwi gets out of his element.
INSUP in his face looking angry, I can tell you, at least from what I saw here on the player cam. Maybe he can use that anger to fuel the engine and turn the series. He needs it, otherwise he's out and has to go through the close qualifier and watch Kiwi play the semis against Cruncher. Map number 2, Concealed Hill. Let's go.
All right. And again, it seems like on the side of INSUP, we're seeing Ted Fiends, Ricky. And of course, Philbot, I don't know what you would creep very aggressively with Philbot on this map, but I mean, Ted Fiends just is... I don't know. Is it working? I guess let's see. We haven't seen this map yet, so maybe there's something INSUP has in store.
You know, on Echo Isles, I mean, his pushback was good. He was pushing Kiwi back. But I feel like it was taking too long to get the damage done. And then, you know, it just felt like Kiwi had so much time after that to just do whatever he wants. And we can't see that again in game 1. Obviously, INSUP feels like if he weighs it out, waits for those 3 fiends, yeah, it's going to be a little later, but he's still got the tech timing. And we could potentially see that tier 3 timing have a little bit more of an impact. But we have to see earlier DK3, first of all. We have to see him actually killing headhunters beforehand, because you can't just let Kiwi get up to 50 supply. Then if he doesn't have to rebuild headhunters, then it's early upgrades. It's, you know, the beast. I like the bestiary as well from Kiwi. That was a nice addition.
Yeah, I think it's better than shamans. I think it's better than even like we've seen people go Taurens before, which I think is a little bit ridiculous. I think just getting those raiders and having the momentum to be able to fight early on, and with that ability to fight early on, take an early tiny, and then you have a win condition before you know it. I think that's a great way to play this for Kiwi. But, yeah, the thing with INSUP going for Ted Fiends is he just never quite has enough to be able to be aggressive as he needs to be. He just never has the army compared to the amount of headhunters that Kiwi has. He's going to use a coil. That's all of his mana already gone from this single creep camp, though, Ricky. Yeah, it was done quickly. Yeah, he got all the experience, got the item, but there's still a trapper there, and now he's half health with no mana.
Yeah, not where you want to be. Nerubian also very late, so Kiwi could stick around here. But yeah, like going back to the bestiary timing, Carson, it's like it almost feels like Undead can't fight at all until he hits tier 3. Just because the ensnare is just way too strong, and then we saw the DPS come even after a TP. You know, INSUP lost that fiend early on, so I really question what INSUP's mid game is going to be on Concealed Hill, because like you said, Kiwi can creep everything. He can creep reds with a couple headhunters. They shoot up. So yeah, I mean the DK is going to heal up a bit, and now we're starting to see this is pretty common to sit in this base, rely on the Nerubian. This isn't like game ending right now. He'll get a couple fiends out. He'll be able to push back. This is all just Kiwi wasting time until his tech finishes. So even though the DK took some damage, he's on Blight, not the end of the world in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's almost as though if there were headhunters here, they would almost be a liability for Kiwi, because INSUP would have something to put these skellies on. He'd have something to dive and chase for. And if he had that aura especially, he'd probably be able to chase for a kill. So just having the Farseer here means INSUP doesn't really have a great target to go for. The Wolves will always be resummoned. The Farseer can always be microed back and still attack from afar. So it's really rough for INSUP to get anything done. And in the meantime, of course, like you said, Kiwi's just tacking away, just waiting for the Tauren Chief, and then the Creeping Storm will arrive, and we'll see, can INSUP get out of his base for this early game? We've seen him be in this position before, and it has not boded well. Yeah, this is a big map, too, Concealed Hill. You don't really want to be trapped on this side of the map. This is
primarily a time where INSUP should be creeping the shop, maybe the crab, and then going across and being aggressive. But Farseer locking him in this base. He's actually rallying some headhunters, which I think is a mistake. Okay, he's going to bring those back because the TC is about to come out, and this is your window again. Kiwi so far has been so good at keeping INSUP over here. I mean, he's still creeping the turtle, Carson.
Yeah. Under attack.
He will get level 2, though, if he's able to get this, and he's got a lot of skeletons. Worth noting, though, as well, INSUP's on his second Rod of Necromancy. That's 6 charges so far. If my math checks out, that's 225 gold invested into Rod of Necromancies, and he's only gotten, now, level 2. It's a lot of gold invested, whereas Kiwi hasn't even used a salve, he hasn't used a clarity, a speed scroll. He's still full health, still has a decent amount of mana on his Farseer, so just overall investing into this creeping has INSUP, but, you know, he's got the aura. He can start to chase away, bully away this Farseer. The Torn Chieftain only now starting to creep, so perhaps INSUP can find a timing with now the Dark Ranger second to get something done on the map.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you have to creep in his face now if you're INSUP, but if you're going to go for Dark Ranger, you have to be ready to go on the offensive and go aggressive. And I wonder if Kiwi's going to put that Bestiary down again like in game 1, because that totally nips it in the bud, almost makes it an even fight. Whereas right now, you know, if INSUP was coming across the map right now, this would be scary undead. With the aura, with the Dark Ranger, lots more skeletons coming out, and these headhunters drop like flies. But right now, he's just deciding to creep, and right now the TC is totally obliging this as well.
And Kiwi, even stealing creeps, he doesn't have to really steal anything. He's just trying to buy time and scout, of course, and make space for his Torn Chieftain. But the fact he's even getting, you know, a creep last hit every once in a while, getting a couple of skeletons, that is so nice for Kiwi. And INSUP, yet again, not even 2.5 on the Death Knight. Going to have to take the entire expansion camp just to get that level 3 Death Knight. And it's not the easiest camp in the world. You're going to take a lot of poison damage. There's no statue yet because we do see tier 3 before Slaughterhouse for INSUP, but he is going to have both soon. But Kiwi already level 2 and now pulling the Ogre Lord. And this is going to be a great item for Kiwi as well. And a red camp taken extremely early.
Yeah, you mentioned this actually, a statement from Kiwi. He does this all the time. And what is the item going to be? Helm of Valor? I mean, strength and agility, probably not that's probably the worst one that he probably would have wanted, but it makes the TC a little bit tankier. He'll keep that for now. But look at these upgrades. Like, Kiwi already at +2 attack, tier 3 tech. These are some heavy damage hitters right now, and he isn't going for the Bestiary just yet. He's actually going Spirit Lodge on this map. What do you think about this decision?
Double Spirit Lodge, in fact. That's,
oh.
interesting.
Okay.
It's of course so that you have shamans out, and you're also able to pump those upgrades, get as early as bloodlust as you possibly can get. But it's still a little bit weird. I do think just raiders are honestly objectively better in my opinion, but still, this has gone very well for Kiwi. He's got level 3 Torn Chieftain. He's got decent items, albeit nothing really to save his heroes if there is a big nuke. But still, I think INSUP hasn't really done much in the way of damage or anything in the way of damage to Kiwi so far. So I think Kiwi's still in the lead. We'll just see how well these shamans actually do.
Yeah, an untouched Kiwi is a happy Kiwi, and the TC again just creeping so much that he might even get to level 4. Kiwi hasn't even hit a red camp yet either, Carson, and the creeping has been sensational. And now the Farseer are going to pick up those claws. TC going to drop it on the ground for him. DK is level 3, finally. Tier 3 about to hit. Yeah. There's the Lich. There's the Fiends. There's the Destroyer form, which should follow. So we're going to get into that composition again, where INSUP probably going to hit 50 supply. Probably has to bank a bit more and creep a bit before he can break. But Kiwi will be right there at 50 supply right behind him. In fact, tier 3 right around the corner for Kiwi as well.
We may see Kiwi get in a position very soon where he's being contested for a camp. Maybe his expansion, maybe the other red camp, and we might see a position, we've seen Kiwi do this in the past, where he overextends on what I call an anti-timing. He doesn't have his tier 3 yet, and INSUP's about to have his Lich in his orb. So if INSUP goes for a fight as soon as he has this Lich in this orb and Kiwi's tier 3 is not kicked in yet, I hope for Kiwi, this position right here, he does not fight. Just run away, give up the camp. The Lich is about to be here. I don't think Kiwi can win a fight, especially when the orb arrives. But INSUP still has to buy a little bit of time himself.
In the words of Kevin O'Leary, this is incredible greed if Kiwi sticks around for this. But he does have a big army, but the nukes are going to be gross. The Lich is coming in. It's got an orb. That's going to be the Nova. The Coil obviously can one-shot headhunters if they get down to that HP level. So there's just tons of nuke damage. And as soon as that Lich comes in, this is a scary undead that we touched on before. This is the kind of timing now where INSUP should be hitting. he should be going for big camps. He shouldn't be going for a lone trapper. He should be securing reds, especially when you push Kiwi away. And I keep talking about this, not trying to harp on him too much, but these are like the wasted windows where he's kind of shuffling around instead of actually getting damage done. Now he's chasing. This is what I want to see.
Yeah, but the window is very, very short. He had about a 30-second window to get damage done. He did kill a headhunter. He's still in a decent spot. Gonna nuke down a shaman. The stomp is big to start things off for Kiwi, but so far this is good for iNSUP. There is an invuln pot on that Torn Chieftain, so he wasn't so safe previously, but now he definitely is, and I think the tables are starting to turn in this fight. The statue's taking a lot of damage. iNSUP trying to micro. His Lich has a couple bonus damage items. There is a couple of coils still left, but the statue falls, the stomps are big. There's no more stomps, though, note, so maybe iNSUP can turn this around a little bit.
Lightning Shield on the TC, very annoying, but yeah, you're right. The stomps are out. As soon as he uses the Wand of Mana Stealing, though, he could get another one. Okay, one Fiend going down, but I feel like the trades were very good for iNSUP, honestly.
Yeah.
50 supply still. Fiends are very low, but as soon as the statue comes out, he can heal that up. There are, of course, health fountains on the map as well. And iNSUP doing the right call. He is beelining it for one of these reds. Maybe creep the shop first. I mean, why not try it out?
Yeah, I think that was 3 headhunters and a shaman for a statue, a fiend, and a town portal, so relatively even. And of course, if you're able to fight as the undead and the orc is out of mana on the map, you have statues to regenerate your mana, so it'd be better for iNSUP in the long run, but for now he's got to definitely heal up these fiends, and creeping the fountain would be a good 2-in-1 special for him. We'll see if Kiwi goes for that tiny Great Hall, though. He gets Scourge Bone Chimes, not a great item for him when he's not going for Torrens, but wouldn't be surprised to see Kiwi stay on 50, get that tiny, go for that expansion.
I don't think iNSUP has web, so he's going to have to pass the orb maybe to the DK for added damage.
Yeah,
but he will clean this up.
Breaking upkeep so early, too. He probably didn't research it before. No, he does not have web. Yeah, and he's been breaking upkeep immediately, right? So he doesn't want to waste that production time on getting web for his fiends, I guess.
Okay, the good thing for iNSUP, though, he's going to find out is Scourge Bone Chimes dropped for Kiwi. Probably the worst item you want to see when you're mass range. But Periapt is pretty good. Could probably pass the mantle. Maybe he'll, I don't know, use a replenishment, I guess.
Sobi Mask on that Death Knight. That's going to be something iNSUP is happy to see. He's pulled his ghouls because his lumber was all right, but I don't think they're going to honestly last very long in the fight. You know, if they do eat a stomp or something, I suppose that's all right, but you know, that's going to be free experience for the Torn Chieftain. Are we going to see that tiny now? No, we're going to see an investment into a mana potion for Kiwi. He should get a heal scroll probably as well. The Torn Chieftain is quite a beast right now, but not a lot of mana if he didn't have that mana pot. And Kiwi with the Bloodlust, with the now 2-0 headhunters, with probably 3-0 coming on the way after the reinforced defenses. This could be a strong timing for him, but iNSUP again, 58 supply. If he doesn't mess up his micro on his, you know, his third hero, the Lich, like he did last game, this is on paper a fight iNSUP should win.
Yeah, the invuln is again on this Lich. iNSUP going for the last remaining camp, and that's going to be the Trapper, the original Trapper. You're going to get level 4 on the DK. I would agree with you. I think the hero levels are tremendous. He's got 3 statues here for healing for now. If he needs an extra Destroyer, which he probably will for Bloodlust, okay, he pops that second one anyway. The key right now, isolate that TC. Try to eat up stomps without doing much damage, so we should see splitting. And then just eat the Bloodlust, nuke down units. Definitely a winnable fight. And, you know, Kiwi's just going to be relying on big stomps, heavy DPS, Chain Lightning. But there's no way to heal these units, Carson, outside of heal scrolls, which I don't think... Okay, Kiwi has 1.
Yeah, wouldn't mind seeing a second one for Kiwi, just like last game. But instead, Kiwi is going to be breaking upkeep. He's getting ready for the fight. We don't, of course, have a Kodo, which is incredibly strong on these headhunters, but we do have more shamans, more headhunters coming out. A little bit out of position as Kiwi. We saw him have a beautiful positioning at that expansion last game, but now iNSUP is being the one that's a little bit more proactive, but still an overextension into the Torn Chieftain with tons of stomps and a shop at his back could be the way that iNSUP maybe throws this slight advantage he has right now. But Kiwi, 60 or 58 supply rather, but a little bit of that is in production for now. And neither player's expanding, so they're both saying, let's just fight in the middle, let's duke it out, let's see who wins the fight, and that will probably determine who's going to win this game.
Oh, could see a nuke on one of the headhunters right away. One almost falls, one ghoul does, or sorry, that's a Skelly, I think. I think he's still got the original ghouls, but yeah, the key right now for Kiwi is to get into a nice position, and this is actually a really good position if Kiwi fought here. He's got that big choke with the shop and the racks in the tree line. Okay, the shop's going to go down, and is iNSUP going to keep chipping away here. Full mana on everything right now. Everything is ready to go.
Oh, if you're an undead player, you know how tricky it is for that to not happen. The Coil Nova, though, in the Farseer, are Town Portal out, so at the end of the day, one Fiend falls for a Town Portal. iNSUP found his out. I don't think that would be a great fight if he ate that Stomp like that and had to continue to fight, but so much Bloodlust. And this is a position, yeah, Kiwi does have that orb. The orb is to lock down the Destroyers because, of course, you cannot purge them without that orb, so if Kiwi gets right-clicks on the Destroyers, he can catch them out of position. If not, the Destroyers will always be able to hover above and get rid of that Bloodlust. And iNSUP's doing well so far. This is a lot more difficult than it seems, but eventually he's going to eat a Stomp.
Oh, the silence comes in, but the invuln to counter. Is the Stomp good? The Stomp is good. I really question if this is the right way to wedge yourself in. Yeah, I think you get out of here if you're iNSUP, but he's going to pick up a few units on the way out. Actually, the TC, another big Stomp. Oh, man, everything's shooting down. The Destroyers actually have a good line on the tree line, and iNSUP right now knows that the Farseer doesn't have a way out, and there's no shop. So all this damage is pretty good. iNSUP not losing too much. There's the invuln and the Lich, but didn't see the last time. The Destroyers in the tree line are actually amazing, and iNSUP's kind of sticking around in this fight. Burrow is good. Couldn't see a coil, but the Stomp is really good. One Fiend might go down, but there's a level 5 TC, Carson, and this is starting to get a little bit ridiculous. iNSUP is getting into the window right now where he's kind of spending too much time here. I think you've taken your value, but now you're taking heavy losses.
Yeah, and again, the Town Portal maybe 10-20 seconds too late. He actually did a lot better in that fight than I thought he would initially, but then sticking around a bit too long. The supplies are still relatively even, though, but Kiwi always has this win condition of, I can just get a tiny Great Hall, and then we're even on supply. I can hold. I have level 5 Tauren Chieftain. We're going to see that tiny right now. And iNSUP, I don't know if he can win the next fight. If he Town Ported out a little bit earlier when he had traded favorably, got another invuln, maybe a Mana Pot, which he does have on the Death Knight, then re-attacked, it'd be great. But as it stands now, iNSUP doesn't have the better army.
No, the Destroyer's still really weak, and iNSUP's going to push the tempo before he can really fully heal one statue in the back. I think there's another Fiend rallied as well. 55 supply is going to have to be what does it, because I feel like right now Kiwi's just going to constantly be pumping units, and this is where Kiwi breaks again. But iNSUP, does he want to go for an invuln or perhaps a heal scroll from the shop? Tons of items available at the shop.
Oh, this Tauren Chieftain, man. With Bloodlust, with Aura level 2. No invuln, so we cannot break the silence, but of course he can purge the silence. So it's always a little bit poopy to have that Dark Ranger, but the Black Arrow, of course, is going to be very, very good. The Barracks is actually a decent pick-off, honestly, because that is a lot of the production of Kiwi. You don't want to just mash Shaman, speed scroll in. You cannot eat a Stomp, and eat a Stomp made this Death Knight, and this is a lot of damage put on the first tier of iNSUP.
Oh, he doesn't have a heal or a TP, and look at the purges. This is just mass purge. Kiwi sees blood, and he's going
dead.
I think that's a dead DK. Yeah, iNSUP can't get out. And honestly, now you can't get anything out. The Stomps could be very good. There's still one more and a Mana Pot. Oh no, iNSUP is going to do it again. Overextending and just under-delivering. I think that Kiwi's going to do this. How do you fight this with no DK? This is so tough.
The army still looks pretty good for iNSUP. You imagine if he had coils to his back right now. There's going to be another Stomp, though. There's a Mana Potion on this Tauren Chieftain at all times. A lot is low for Kiwi. But remember, he's got an expansion to his back right now. Still 48 supply iNSUP. Can you get back your Death Knight somehow from the tavern, perhaps? Because you're finding good damage, but now the second hero is going to go down. The Dark Ranger, a couple of Fiends are about to follow. And GG is